Hail Internet, it's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. Today, we're talking about the 4th episode of the new AppleTv sci-fi series Plur1bus, the episode entitled, Please, Carol.
Wait, I don't think you did it right. Oh. Please, Carol.
Please, Carol. We open with our much-awaited check-in on the elusive Manusos, one of the 13 unaffected humans. He's been living in the office of a fenced-off storage facility, refusing to eat the food brought by the hive mind, instead eating dog food taken from the storage lockers on site. We see him systematically checking all radio frequencies, looking for fellow holdouts. We see his end of the phone calls that Carol was making from the plane last episode. When Carol angrily insults him, I think he realizes in that moment that she's not a hive mind. She's not cheerful enough. And so he takes note of her name. Carol, interesting. So I think they will undoubtedly unite in some way by the end of the season. We end with Carol doping Zosha with truth serum in order to ask her whether the joining can be reversed. Actually, more, she already kind of feels like it can be. How the joining can be reversed.
Yes, exactly.
As Zosha goes into cardiac arrest, possibly due to the drug, perhaps due to an internal mental struggle. Anyway, the hospital staff all gather around Carol, saying the episode's title, Please, Carol, in unison. All that said, Paul.
Matt.
What'd you think of episode 4 of Plur1bus?
Yeah, another fine episode. I feel like she maybe could have just said, can I have a hypodermic needle? Yeah. It's like, oh, you're not going to do something damaging to yourself? Okay. It's like, oh, look over here. You can't see what I'm doing over here. Yeah, but we'd let you do that other thing. We would.
Exactly. You're going through a lot of subterfuge for people just to let you do what you want.
But yeah, I enjoyed the episode. It's funny though. It's interesting in that you could have said just a little bit more, and you would have had the whole plot of the show when you did your rundown there. But that's fine because it's enjoyable to see everything play out.
Yeah. I would say based on what we've seen in these first 4 episodes, it is more character based, less plot based.
Yes.
Certainly the plot moves in some fashion, but it's more about exploring the world and the characters in this point, and less about we went through 10 plot points at this. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I would say the one plot point that is particularly important from this episode is the reveal about Carol's upbringing. So in her youth, she was sent away to a gay conversion therapy camp.
Yes.
That's a big deal. Yeah. Obviously, traumatic experience.
Yeah.
And then she notes that the people at the camp were much like the hive mind. Smiley, happy faces attached to a group of people in power, intent on removing her identity. Which is exactly what's happening here. So,
and it was interesting how in that exchange where Zosha says, "Well, you want to change us."
True, but then Zosha says that line, soon enough you'll understand everything and you will feel so much better. Like, okay. I mean, that sounds like it's coming straight from the camp, agenda, basically.
Exactly, yes.
I will say, I don't think, again, this leads into the it's all in her head theory, which I hope isn't true, and I don't think it is true, but if she was creating in her head an alien invasion storyline, that alien invasion might look something like the worst experience of her teenagerdom, a gay conversion therapy camp. So hopefully that's not the case. I'm just saying it's interesting that she had this on-point experience with what she's experiencing now. So, all right, just throwing that out there. Don't do that. Don't do that, Vince.
See, now I'm doing a mental category of, like, what show have we done where you didn't suggest it was on someone's mind?
I'm telling you, Legion ruined me for all other shows. Because in that show, it was always in his mind. Oh, I wonder if this thing... Oh, no, I bet you it's all in his mind. Hey, I was right. It was all in his mind the whole time. So I got such affirmation for that theory that now I can't not do it. I'm like, it's in her mind.
It's like, oh, Romeo and Juliet. Oh, it's all in her mind.
It's all in their heads. It's all in their heads. It's all in their heads. My favorite scene, I think, from this episode was the Carol, I think his name was Larry interrogation scene. She's like, you, come here. You represent the hive mind.
Yes.
And so she learns, she ends up writing on the whiteboard all the things. And one of the things she kind of gets is that the point that the hive mind can't lie.
Right.
Which we talked about last episode.
Sure.
Although it's a little odd though. So even though she comes away with that impression, even though they tell her she's on par with Shakespeare.
Yes.
Which I get it. Talent is a subjective, trait, but it's almost objectively true that she's not on par with Shakespeare as an author.
Sure.
So it's like they can put the best spin on the truth, I guess, in some ways.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like it's like,
but you could also say too that it's something they sincerely believe. So when they weigh that one person who became a fan.
Okay, great point.
Carol's.
Okay,
so if they weigh that appropriately, it's not a lie.
You're anticipating where I was going with this. Okay,
okay.
You're right. Larry mentions this one particular fan, and it's one that Carol knows and is like dismisses as this kook. Oh, the one who sent me all the hats or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But so this woman's life was changed for the better, apparently, due to reading Carol's books. So yes, according to that one person, Carol is on par with Shakespeare. But surely, if you polled the entire hive mind, Shakespeare would get the majority of votes. So my question is, how does the hive mind derive its answers? If one member of the hive mind of 6 billion people feels a certain way, does that opinion rule? I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't know. I feel like, it just sort of averages out, to the point where, first, she said called bullshit, but, either was it the problem of they loved it all. They loved all the different things, and she had to find someone who at the time was not part of the hive mind and what they thought in order for her to get some some critical analysis.
What did Helen think of my writing?
Yeah, she could have expanded it. Like, what did my publisher think of my writing?
Right,
what did she like? Because they referenced someone that Zosha consulted. Okay.
Right, it's fine. It's cotton candy, I believe, and then
the cotton candy was the stuff that she thought was pablum.
Yeah. The serious work with the bitter chrysalis, they were like, it won't hurt your career.
She couldn't make it.
It was a very awkward scene. I just like, oh wow. Just hearing that, I'm like, what do they really think? Like, tell me what they really think. Like,
he was like, you told us that we couldn't. You told us we couldn't talk about her. I'm going to give you this special dispensation.
I love that comeback. That was a really good one. Yeah, you could tell the hive mind's thinking it through. Oh, actually, you said we can't talk about Helen. Oh, well, too bad. Yeah, can't talk about it. It's like, well played, hive mind. Well played. But she's like, all right, fine. I'll make an exception in this one case. Here, tell me. It's like, they're fine. They thought it was fine. I guess you could possibly imagine in another scenario where like a hive mind that can't lie would come off robotic and just tell you like cold hard facts. But it's not that. This hive mind can actually can make euphemisms, can kind of put spins on things to try to we want to keep you happy. So we know if we just say, oh yeah, people thought your book was terrible, so I would be like, hey, they thought it wouldn't hurt your career. See, that's right. That's fine. It's cotton candy. That's good, right? So anyway, it's interesting. It's an interesting little look at the hive mind that the background to how they can have 6 billion voices in their heads in this one head and actually come up with a unified answer that sounds conversational is interesting.
Yeah. Another thing I think is interesting how Zosha is becoming the Kenny of the show. It's like
right. Great point. So she in the last episode,
more can she take?
Grenade. Obviously puts her in the hospital. Then in this one, let me drug you. Oh, cardiac arrest. Oh, now they're trying to. You see them trying to do compressions on her as we fade to black. So yeah, you're right. She's being Kennied a fair amount. It's not a good gig to try to be the hive mind liaison to Carol.
Yes, but one of the things though, it did also make me think again of the hive mind when Carol was trying to get the the heroin.
Yeah.
And it's on its way. We see that you
Yeah.
really want it. It's several
Right.
hours away, and
Are you
it's
sure
coming.
you want that? This hospital can have heroin, but it's an 8 mile. Oh, you know what? It's on its way.
But apparently, though, some of the hive mind is in recovery. The way it sounded as if perhaps
Right.
there were people who were addicted, and then since, presumably, that maybe they're not doing the drugs anymore.
Good point. There's still a lot. In the comment section from last episode, people were talking about like this idea of like turning the power out at dark because there's no crime. But like, what about things like your fridge or air conditioning, or like it suggests that people aren't living in the houses. But anyway, we'll see. We'll see how that all pans out.
Yeah, who knows if they like put them all together and then.
Right.
Yeah, because if they've taken out of the food out of everybody's fridge, then maybe you can shut them off.
Right,
If they're all in a place
collected it
where
all,
it's like
yeah.
they're
But there are questions. Let's just say that, which is what the show's about. The show is creating a world where it's got a bunch of mysteries, and it'll solve them it'll reveal the answers at its own pace. One of the other obviously big moments here is that Carol tests the truth serum on herself.
Yes.
And then watches the footage. Now I'm not exactly sure what she was hoping to get out of this, since she doesn't get to ask herself questions during this period. Maybe she just wanted to test to see whether it was safe. Maybe that's what I got out of it. But obviously she's surprised to hear herself admit that she's attracted to Zosia, which frankly doesn't come as a surprise necessarily, or a shock, I should say. Since I think the hive mind went to great lengths moving Zosia across the globe to give Carol someone that she'd be receptive to. Now, maybe not attractive.
receptive. Yeah, I think that's a particular point, because it's not like Zosia ever says, or makes a move at all.
Right.
She's always there to please her, and if she was as bad as that other guy, where it's like, oh well, then I guess Zosia would bite the bullet. Yeah, who knows what's going
great
on
point.
in Zosia's
That's right.
mind,
I want to go
know.
to Vegas now. Okay. The big reveal seemed to be that, she found Zosia attractive. That's where she stops it. She's like, oh.
Yes.
And then she flushes the chip down the toilet.
Yes.
Like getting rid of that evidence. Which is
Yeah.
interesting, too.
I wonder if it's not that, if they knew that them choosing Zosia had that effect on her, then, even though it seems funny to see Manusos, he doesn't trust them to make a store around him. He won't even interact with them at all to get them, to do things where he would feel it's safe. No, he's got to find the dog food,
Right.
And,
Yes.
he's turning down their meals, which Carol is doing, but, he's going above and beyond. It's funny, when I watched it, I didn't notice what I had to be pointed out when I watched someone recapping it, is that he's trying to keep from throwing up. It's that noxious to him. But,
It was that bad to me, just
do.
watching him, like, spoon out I was like, oh,
Oh, I would have thought
man.
that, your affinity for pets would have made you much more amenable to eating their
Not
food.
pet food. I don't know. I've opened many a can of Alpo and been like, okay, I'm glad you like it. Just one take on the please Carol at the end.
Yes.
Okay. Now, the most obvious, when you see it happening, it's kind of like the hive mind is going, Carol, stop asking this question. Stop asking how to undo the joining. But perhaps it could be, maybe, so she gives the drug to Zosia. She's trying to break this down. Is it possible that maybe the please Carol is maybe almost something like Helen's actual personality coming through in that moment somehow, to say like, please Carol, like almost like a help me kind of thing? I don't know. It's a very ambiguous phrase. You think it would just be, Carol, stop. So you don't want to threaten her, but just to say like the please Carol is an interesting way to phrase it. Like, okay, is there perhaps another motivation for why they're saying that in that moment? I don't know.
I wouldn't think so, but
Okay.
it's
just a nice way of saying stop, I guess.
I think so. Yeah. It's funny. I still have this hope that in the conversation with them, her trying to find out more, but
Yeah.
she's only as curious uh, of getting exactly where she wants. It's
I
like
have seen online like there's this episode was better because she does ask the
Yes,
question of, "Hey,
yes,
can we reverse this thing?"
yes.
And the answer appears to be yes. But until like for the first 3 episodes, there was a lot of things on like, why isn't she asking more questions? So yeah. Her character is like,
Yeah.
what do you think of my book?
It's funny.
Like,
Apparently,
okay,
people have
nobody
been,
cares.
People have been expressing frustration, I guess, with her as a character.
Okay.
And that doesn't occur to me at all. I mean, I don't. I think that her being someone who is quick to anger and be very prickly, and yes, that was an excellent example of that, where it's like she was forced to experience that as a teen, trying to conversion therapy and all that. She's used to being in communities that do not understand her,
Right.
and as a writer, too, you sense that's a part of her mental makeup. So I like that about her character, but yeah,
I also like that. I think I appreciate that this is not the story of like, oh, there's an alien invasion and there's one hero, and that person was perfectly put on this earth to defend the people of Earth. It's like this is a person who's a novel, a fantasy author, who has no idea, wouldn't have any idea how to lead a revolution or anything from the get-go, and is thrust in a situation and is now coping with the new reality, and is now, as of this episode in particular, is starting to think about, okay, wait, I cannot try to undo this. Like, is how does that person, actually come upon a plan to fight back? Like that's interesting stuff for sure.
Yeah, this is a good show, and it's interesting how it's playing out. Part of it, I guess, is the fact that we don't see any scenes without Carol that are really like socially interactive. There's like people have to go someplace.
We saw Manusos eating dog food, but yeah, other than that, you're right.
Yeah, right. We saw that. That's true. Yeah, and because he's somebody. It's exactly. It's kind of interesting that we're not seeing those other people that she met. Who are
now
just
in
fine
the
with
trailer, in the season trailer back in whatever a month or so ago, there were more shots of I'm forgetting the guy's name, the jerk who went to Vegas.
Oh, okay.
There are more shots of him, like he's wearing like a tux and stuff like that. So I feel like there are going to be some more scenes of him, perhaps. But you're right, we're not seeing a lot of those folks at all. Yeah.
By season's end, we'll realize they did we've got enough of this guy. We ended up cutting that.
Oh, good point.
The jerk into tux.
I'm interested to see where this goes as well. I'm still not sure how this is going to land effectively, but we are at least seeing Carol begin to contemplate what a resistance maybe might look like if she gets an answer in some way to this idea. What will that answer even look like? We getting some hints that she can affect them. For sure, right? She can kill a bunch of them if she makes one of them angry or one of them upset.
Yes.
So, is there a way to introduce some kind of a chain reaction change in that hive mind as well? Which sounds like it is possible, but we'll see how that is affected. Probably not this season, but I don't know.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, it's how are they communicating with each other? I mean, I guess I have to accept some sort of weird telepathy or something, unfortunately.
I mean, certainly telepathy in some, right? I mean, but how do you weed out all the voices?
Because I feel like if you talk about animals, like, let's say ants or something like that, I feel like it's probably hormonal or something.
Right, good point. Yeah, like a chemical response. Yep.
Yeah. But the nuance of what she's experiencing, the communication and complexity, makes me think it can't be that. I feel like if you consider the population of the planet Earth and how many people have not been affected by this, I feel like they could just just wait it out. These people will die one day.
Great point.
They nearly got lucky if she decided to overdose on cocaine or heroin.
On heroin.
It's like, well, we tried.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
All right, there's only 12. Yeah. Okay.
And most of them want to be. So, like, maybe we can get them to help us.
That's true. Great point. Vegas guy's like, all right, fine.
No, I wonder if he would be like that, though, because then he wouldn't be, a king
true.
anymore. He'd just be one of the many. It's
Okay.
the woman who, was, who's like, I want to be with my family.
Right.
Yeah, it's a question, I guess, of if they'll discover it by the end of the season. And will that be an inflection point where they know how to do it, and then they've got to figure out how to do it without her consent?
Right. You feel like there'd be a setback.
To get her consent.
They'll have a plan of some kind, and I say they, but probably whatever. Carol Manusos, maybe some folks, but there'll be a plan, but the plan will have some major obstacle that will maybe be like a cliffhanger type of thing of like, how do we solve that? Great, we have an idea, but to execute it seems impossible. We'll see how this progresses.
Yes.
This is a 9-episode season, so we're almost basically halfway through at this point. So.
Oh yeah.
So we'll get to episode 5 next time. We're gonna have Thanksgiving in the middle of that, so we'll figure this out. But while we're eating turkey, Paul, what did you think of the episode? So happy Thanksgiving, everybody, and we'll be back next time. Thank you as always, Paul. Appreciate it, good sir. And we'll see everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.